Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Mancini, the Amazing Channel. I had to break my vow of silence for this, because I have the scoop. Today we have the triple serve, with Keith Thundgore, please say hello.
Hello.
And LS Winkyface, please say hello.
Was good in the hood.
Today we are here to tell you about the scoop, Pokemon Ice Cream. Keith, take us away.
Extra, extra! Read all about it. Pokemon Ice Cream. A few brave VBL coaches, brave and handsome I'd say, have invented the world's newest craze. Pokemon Draft League flavored ice cream.
The ever-aloof Keith Thundgore, fresh off of his Ghost of the Year award, has revealed the striking new flavor combo available in your local Pokemon in an exclusive scoop. Family Man and Mic Check champion LS Winkyface unveils the tantalizing Flaming Flip Cone a la TR mode, with overpowering algae newly patented. Inspired by the bold flavors of Northern Kalos, Mancini brought together the amazing bite-balanced breakfast with a distinct taste of apple and chunks of peppercorn. And last but not least, Keith's greatest achievement off YouTube, the Banana Split, reportedly a delectable pairing for an Eviolite dessert.
And the buckets all come with a bonus letter. Spell Encore, E-N-C-O-R-E. Encore, E-N-C-O-R-E. Encore, E-N-C-O-R-E. For 3 more turns of Flavor Town.
That's right, we've got the inside scoop, so we're going to have to break down what makes all 3 of these flavors. And for a bonus, all of us working together, drafting the same points each round, with LS and I being in the same draft, and Keith being in the other one. Now, that was revealed by Jace in Jace's video, which I guess we should have got this one out first, but we didn't, so here we are.
For the punch.
Also, we had an extra, Family Man, of course, LS themselves, brought in just that little bit of extra family flavor, by which we mean, would you like to explain how your drafts took place?
Sure, so I had the second overall pick, and I wasn't sure what to get. I was stuck between Reuniclus, Rabombi, and Hydrapple, and my good friend Mr. Electric suggested I roll a dice, and I said as a joke, oh, I'm going to ask my wife. And then I did, and then she picked, and I kind of just decided there, every round I'm going to give her 3 mons, and she can pick from them, so I kind of had to pick 3 that would kind of work. Which, as we'll see later, it doesn't always quite work out with 2 drop restrictions at once.
Yes, well, you're only picking within one price point. So, for round 1, it turns out we all really wanted Hydrapple.
Yeah, so, we did all want Hydrapple, didn't we?
A distinct flavor. As you can see, Hydrapple is banana-shaped, which is where it went into the Banana Split. And as you can see, Hydrapple is made of apple, which is where it went into my apple flavor. And then the a la TR mode, of course, is the Reuniclus.
It also should be known about Hydrapple. It does secrete sweet syrup as well,
Super sweet syrup,
which really adds to the flavor profile of all ice creams.
Absolutely. And something that's very notable about Hydrapple and Reuniclus is that they have high special attack stats, reasonably good stabs, and are slow. Reuniclus has a way to
apparently,
leverage
according
that.
to my wife, Reuniclus is cute.
I would agree with that sentiment.
It is weirdly cute given
I think Rabombi
what
is also
it's
cute. But
based on.
what, a cell?
Yeah, it's just, when I think of Cell, I think of Dragon Ball.
And he was quite the cutie.
Well, or every form of his.
Probably not the one that was exploding, but
I was first pick as well, and I picked Hydrapple because I think it's the best Pokemon that can get.
yeah, it turns out good typing, good stab. Fickle Beam move that can be 180 base power, or is it just 160?
You fickle and they beam.
30%. It's 160.
160 base power stab move, if you're a good player.
Yeah.
Now, one of us may be a good player, not me, but we'll see.
I think I missed one Hydro Pump the entire last season with, with Iron Bundle. So I think, if
30%
those
chance.
trends continue,
It's over. Well, actually, that's really bad because you weren't getting 30%.
Oh yeah.
Or
No,
20%. Maybe you were getting the 30, but not the 20.
Your
Either
luck
way.
will catch up to you when you click Dragon Tail into a Trick Room setter, and
Very
it
real.
doesn't print out.
Very real. So that was our 20-point pick, and then heading into the next pick, I think this was the one that I asked for, right? I was like, okay, there's a Pokemon I really want, so we should
think
go
so.
with 16, was it? 16, yep. I really want a Jolteon. I like using Jolteon. I think Jolteon's cool. At this point, Keith's draft was significantly ahead of LS and I's.
Oh yeah.
Like, significantly
Two
ahead.
and a half, 3 rounds. Which
I
made
think
it,
I was asking for you guys' 16th before Electric had picked.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, please give us the 16th. Yeah, you picked your 3rd round pick before I picked my 1st round pick.
Gaming.
Yeah, I think you picked your like your 4th, 5th before, like, around when I picked my 2nd, and I was like 14th, so right near wheel.
Yeah,
We were all pretty near wheel, which I actually think did help. But yes. So
Yeah, they'd had its unique challenges as well.
I wanted like a fast speed control thing with Hydro Apple, so I got Jolteon, which is able to use Electro Web or Manual Thunder Wave to get speed control, and it's also somewhat threatening to flying types, which otherwise are annoying for Hydro Apple to deal with. Keith went the like Glow King, like Trick Room mode, I assume was the thought process.
it's Trick Room. It's like bulky. It's a good Pokemon.
Resist Fairy as well.
Jace, yeah, Resist Fairy for Hydro Apple, so it sort of works with
Regen
that.
Core.
Yeah, Regen
Singles.
Core in doubles totally works. Also, it resists ground. Ground types are resisted by Hydro Apple, so that's sort of nice. The types complement each other. Jace actually told me, like, hey, you should probably draft this, and I'm like, yeah, I will. And I did, because Trick Room is good, and Slowking Galar is a good Pokemon.
And then
I just got something to smack steals with.
yeah, you put in Alolan Eggy, Heracross, Regirock. I think Heracross makes a lot of sense offensively to pair with Ryun, and then the other two are like, Eggy means that you have more depth to your Trick Room options, more flexibility with your Trick Room options, and then Regirock is like, this is a guy that your opponent can't really
Out of
ignore.
all the other ones in that tier, was the only one that kind of made sense.
And you could have picked up Jolteon. No, you couldn't. You weren't in the other draft. You could have picked up
Yeah,
I
Jolteon.
mean, I could have. No, you would have sniped me that way.
Yes, I would definitely have picked Jolteon, because I was like 11 picks before yours, I think. But yes.
I think Heracross makes a lot of sense here. It's
Yeah.
strong guy.
Oh yeah, also Ellis
really
picked
strong
our
guy.
first round of 20. And then our third...
Okay, we had the first pick and the second pick. I kind of assumed we were picking 20 pointers.
I'm just glad a good 20-pointer made it to me, let alone one that I really liked. And then for our third round, we went for 18, which I'm pretty sure was...
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, Keith, you just said you wanted Weavile, right?
Yeah, because what I really wanted? I wanted that Gen 8 OU core of Weavile and
Yeah,
Slowking
that's
Galar.
right. Gen 8 OU Glow King. Man, I've been watching some Gen 8
and the
OU
regen.
recently. One of my friends, Slowpoke Disapproves, I think is their name, or Slowpoke Gachikoi, I don't know. They're like one of the they're a big Gen 8 OU player. Have contributed like sample teams and everything. I've been like following that tournament. It's been a lot of fun. Weavile's a good guy.
Yeah, I wanted something fast with speed control and that can hit things and that has fake out. And look, that's everything in this little Pokemon right here. So
Absolutely.
yeah, it's probably the fastest. I wouldn't be surprised if the fastest priority attacker. Like, you know what I mean? Like, its Ice Shard will outpace even other Pokemon trying to click priority moves, which is nice. Yeah, it's like the fastest fake outer, presumably as well.
I love the presumablys. And then
There might be like one complete.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
LS, I believe. So you put actually a pretty eclectic combination of Pokemon. What was your thought process? I understand the thought process behind the middle one.
Yeah, Electivire I really wanted here because I thought Redirection would go quite well with what I had going so far.
Yep.
I also think I put G-Weezing in because just a fairy poison, like, it just offered a lot of options
Wait, no.
that helped.
Didn't you put G-Weeze there because you thought it was ugly and you thought she wouldn't pick it?
No, that actually is right. No, sorry, I'm not even remembering. I didn't think my wife would pick G-Weezing because...
You also didn't think she'd pick Rhydon.
And I didn't think she'd pick what Rhydon, so I picked the two ugliest Pokemon I could and Electivire, and then she picked Rhydon because she's... Oh, it's so cute! I'm like...
I do think Rhydon is cute. Electivire is also ugly.
But Electivire has that cool vibe, but she only really picks the cute ones, I suppose.
Yeah, well, you know, we're learning things more and more. You know, I've probably mentioned this on a video previously, but you know, look, I met your wife at your wedding. I've subsequently you know, spent some time with you and your wife at your place. So you know, look, I've got some understanding, and I definitely understand where she was coming from. I also think Rhydon is probably the prettier looking of the three.
And look, it kind of works with my somewhat trick room first round pick in Reuniclus. Like,
Yeah.
No, it's a good abuser, and he's a strong guy.
And he also helps deal with like steel types and stuff as well. But I mean,
For sure.
Yeah, it's very hot. Like with that EV light, it's very
It's
bulky.
got Mega Horn to beat the dark types.
yeah. But the problem was locking into a really strong high point Eviolite like user is kind of gonna screw me over down the line. But we'll get to that.
Yeah.
It also
'cause
means you
other-
can't just stack electric weaknesses as well, because
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So, our next round pick, I'm pretty sure that you were the first one to suggest this, weren't you,
Yeah,
LS?
this was me.
Because
I
you were like,
suggested this.
I really need Fake Out. This is the only tier with 3 Fake Out Pokemon.
And that is why we went to that tier. That is the whole reason, because I had 3 fake out users.
I messed
What
up.
were they?
I offered her Pikachu, Wartortle, and Morpeko.
And we were really hoping for more Pico.
You were hoping I was going to get Morpeko.
Which
Didn't
one
you
did
want
you
a
want?
Pokemon that wasn't another NFE?
I did, but I think Wartortle, like, having some...
Oh, no, Wartortle's cool. But Eviolite.
Yeah.
I mean, Pikachu doesn't really use Eviolite that much anyway.
Clearly you guys don't use Pikachu the way I be using Pikachu.
Choice Band.
Why would you run Choice Band? It's weaker than Light Ball.
True. Light Ball, Terra Normal, E-Speed.
I think the main answer is the main Pikachu item is actually Sash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ran it a lot in Gen...
I can run Wartortle
Hey.
with Sash.
Yeah.
Yes, you can run
Is it,
Wartortle
like,
with Sash.
Really bulky?
No, it's somewhat bulky. It's really bulky with Eviolite and Investment. It's
Oh,
not
yeah.
that bulky without. Like, you wouldn't...
Oh, yeah,
like, you don't
59
relish
HP.
running a Citrus Berry on it.
Yeah.
In the same way, like, Rhydon, I think, actually is, like, fairly decent Phys-Def, so you probably may even feel
Yeah,
better about that.
it's 105 HP, 120 defense.
Yeah,
pretty
it's
good.
not... It's pretty good.
But also better with Eviolite. And then you picked... Like, we just picked a Pokemon that sort of made some sense.
Yeah, I
In the team.
wanted another fast guy.
I also wanted another fast person Pokemon. The difference being that I already had Jolteon, and you had Glowking.
Yeah.
I considered Mismagius myself, but I liked getting a Fairy Resist, I think was my thought process. I'm like, Hydrapple. I have no Fairy Resist. I need one.
Yeah, Mismagius just like made sense to me. Can hit hard. It's like a special attacker. That's fast, and my only fast guy was a physical attacker. It can also do Icy Wind stuff. I know we all can do that as well, but still, it's got Helping Hand.
It can do that next to Weavile.
Yeah, it's got
Also, it's immune to
like-
Fake Out.
Yeah, yeah.
And the funny thing it can do is if you're trying to set Trick Room and they're going to imprison Trick Room, you have a faster imprison user.
Oh, you're right.
Also Taunt.
No,
That's
that's not
incredible.
as fun.
Sure.
Well, because they've run Mental Herb.
Yeah, Imprison Trick Room
Yeah.
is the it's the lock.
We're giving away all the sauce.
Sorry, my bad.
We are literally explaining the secret ingredients.
It's also got Perish Song, which is funny, but
I just realized
if
if I hadn't been making this like at work in the afternoon. Oh, by the way, massive shout out. I think I may have said this in the intro, but I'm not sure that I did. I did write that newspaper clipping myself though. Massive shout out to Jace for making this background. I sort of just had the 3 colors that were close to these colors as like in like stripes, and I'm like, Jace, please, I need graphic design help. And Jace is like, okay, drop shadows, a different font, and then very, very awesomely made the actual background that we use here, which
That's very
looks
nice.
significantly better than 3 block colors. That it was a screenshot on my work computer of of a free flag making app. It was a bit jank, you know. I won't lie. I won't pretend otherwise. So, absolutely incredible. We stand Jace, even if Jace does not stand our drafts. And apparently hates Alice's wife, as we learnt in that video.
Yeah. Shame.
Yeah, Pyrock cool, Miss Major's cool. And then we were like, okay, we need to get a pretty good Pokemon next, I think.
Yeah, I don't remember the
12
justification for this.
Didn't you want Chlorita Electric? I think that's...
No, I do not want...
Why
I
did we do
did not
12?
want this point.
I think... Okay,
I needed a water type, and this is the only water type in the tier.
I think we went 12 because there was something I wanted.
I think there was like a good Intimidate Mon. No, I think that
my fake out user was going to be in 12, but it got multiple of them got sniped.
That's right. There were several fake out
then
guys that got sniped. No, it wasn't fake out. Wasn't it Talent? Or Trick 'em?
Something like that. There's something that I said let's go 12 because it works for me, but because we were so far behind, and then Keith had to pick lock it in sooner, and then by the time we actually got to pick in 12.
Oh yes, I think you had maybe 4 Pokemon, but potentially only 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is round 5, so you would have only had... Actually, I think you may have only had 2 Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what happened, and also I wanted a ground type, because a rock resist at that point would have been nice, because I didn't have one, and Flygon was another fast guy that can maybe do things, Double Dragon, which is cool, because I think there's all up about 2.5 fairy type Pokemon on the board, and about 5.5 steel types. So as long as I can avoid those 9 Pokemon, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And hey, Flygon can, I don't know, Earthquake some of them, so that's nice.
You just run Specs Draco like I always did.
Yeah.
Oh man, I remember
That's true.
Dynamax, Lifeorb, Flygon. That was some fun.
It's also like a decently fast Tailwinder in this format with 100 speed.
Yeah.
It's got a K-Bulk with 80, 80, 80.
And then you were, I think you were pretty happy with Mabostiff, right? You sent in 2 other options, but I think of those, Mabostiff was probably your preferred, right?
Yeah, or I did want Electrode as well, because I didn't have anything above 100 speed.
Yeah, but solid Intimidate and a good Dark type.
Yeah,
Oh,
not a bad guy.
If Mabostiff was around when it was my time, I probably would have taken it. I don't think it was though.
You had a
because
Weavile.
I would have loved an Intimidate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I picked Chlorita because I needed a water type and there were no other water types, and I was so happy it didn't get sniped. But I'm still not I'm not in love with Chlorita. It's pretty good in the mock game that I played, which is not on this channel. I don't know if the videos from this season, they're probably not going to be on the channel. Yes, so that was our 12 pointer, and then I think we picked. I think the next thing we picked was
The Berserker.
Yeah, I really wanted a
type.
steel.
This is the pick of all times, right?
Yep.
It's 3.
You needed a steel type. I happened to also get a steel type absolutely ages later.
So can we clarify that there is about 8 Pokemon in the 10-point tier?
Oh yes, 10 was of all of the tier points. I think that the smallest tier. 12 was also very small. 10 and 12 were both very small, and then we wound up picking from them.
It was Berserker was the only steel type left, and I really wanted a steel or a fairy, so it was I just had to really push hard for it, even though it was really inconvenient.
Now,
I just needed it.
Do you want the joy of telling the audience which Pokemon you passed to your lovely wife?
I offered her Berserker because that was there, and I said, "Wow,
it was very good for your team."
Persimmon because I think there was 4 Pokemon left when it came to us.
I think there was 5.
No, there was 4 because of them. Persimmon was the only. I didn't. No, sorry. I wouldn't have. I wanted Berserker. I wouldn't have minded Persimmon, and then I kind of said of the 4, the only one that I the one I want.
The other one was an NFE, wasn't it?
Something like that. But I ended up with picking the cute one again, Beartic, which works great with my team.
Yeah, I mean everyone loves Beartic. You can tell because they made that show. Everyone loves Beartic.
It's a shame you didn't get Berserker.
Yeah.
I love Berserker.
Berserker's not that cute, I reckon, so I didn't have much of a chance.
I mean, it's literally a cat. You guys have... The 2 cats you guys have as many eyes as this Berserker.
That is correct.
Yeah, 2.
Never, sorry.
2?
Never ask a woman her age, a man his salary, or one of the LS family what happened to the cat's eyes.
True story.
Mostly because it's not a very interesting story.
I do want
Sorry,
to say...
yes, I'm pulling up the tier list. Let's take a look at 10.
Well,
So if you look at 10, the only free Pokemon is Knucklestack. That's right. I think the Pokemon you really wanted was Granbull, and then it went, like, I think after my pick.
Yeah, didn't Granbull go first round in your div?
Oh, that might also have happened. See, I could
No,
not.
I basically at this point I was kind of like, you know, I've got enough.
Granbull went first round.
I really wanted Berserker. I said go ahead and I'll make it work. Which I regret.
You know, Beartick is a Pokemon that is a nice resist. You appreciate a nice resist, right?
I love Berserker. I think it's really good. I always try to draft that on like every team.
Yeah,
what do you have for a well-played Beartick? I'm bringing back that Gen 7 draft meme.
I've got nothing.
I have Skarmory. It's got Tailwind. It resists Fairy. It does not resist Ice.
Yeah.
Berserker was not... Like, I wasn't taking you off Berserker. I was really hoping Berserker would make it to you, and it did make it to you. Unfortunately. Oh yeah, also, I think by this time, you had another 2 Pokemon, and then we got caught up in your next 2 picks, Keith.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
It was crazy. So, this is our round 6, and then, like, I think during, like, your, like, round 7, which you picked at the same time, we caught up.
Yeah,
so,
basically.
At this point, we are running somewhat low on points. We have points for, I think, like, 2 big guys, and, like,
I thought it was like we had 24, or something all up for the next 5 picks.
It was an odd
like
number, so
yeah.
It wouldn't have been 24. I really wanted a 2-point Pokemon. I kind of wanted us to take it now. We did not take it now. We had 27 points.
There you go.
I really, I was like, gosh, it's going to be so long. I really want a 2-point Pokemon. Anyways, we got a 6-point Pokemon. I do not know why we got a 6-point Pokemon.
Okay, because I do remember this one. I wanted a Levitate user.
That's right, you wanted a ground immunity.
So yeah, I wanted a ground immunity so I could run.
That's right.
And
what happened was your wife rode him at Haunter, and then because you didn't get Haunter, BB Raff, who was also in our division, was only picking not fully evolved Pokemon. So because you didn't get Haunter, Rotom wasn't there, and because you didn't get Haunter, they took Haunter. So that I didn't get a ground immunity in this tier, even though I really wanted it. And instead I got a Pokemon that's weak to ground.
We both wanted a ground immunity.
Yes.
And then I got sniped the pick before.
Oh, and you gave your wife a pass thinking that it was too ugly.
Yeah, and she didn't pick it, thankfully.
I wanted a rock resist, and I'd like, I don't have a unevolved Pokemon yet. I can probably pick Gerder now, and that can be one of my probably my Eviolite Pokemon in most matchups. It's got knockoff, it's got wide guard, but I can also run gut sets as well if I want to just punch things. It's a good Pokemon.
Okay, and the next pick. You, Ellis was
didn't like this.
Yeah, I picked up Clodsire because it's okay. It's a fun Pokemon that I like using. I don't think it's amazing, unfortunately. I really wanted to get a Trick Room Setter at some point, but these were not really options until the next round, where I think basically everyone really wanted a Trick Room Setter.
Oh, I didn't.
No, Keith didn't.
Why did you get a Trick Room Setter?
Yeah, I didn't want this tier at all, but after I kind of forced you guys...
We really needed this. There were 4 Trick Room Setters in this tier.
After I forced you guys to pick 10, I'm like, yeah, whatever. I did not. I wanted a very different... We
workshopped the next 2 points, I think, to 5 different options. We looked at 4 and one of the next thing is, and 3 and 2 and 1 and 5 and 6. No, yeah, I don't think we looked at 2. But I know for sure we looked at 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6 with the next pick, trying to figure out what the best option was. And I think it was that you were pretty keen on what the next pick is, and we were desperate for this point.
Yeah, I think the one I wanted
So why'd you
to
pick
pick a
Grump?
12-pointer, I think. Me?
Yeah. Why?
Oh, because it is the fastest Pokemon in the tier with dual screens. Because my draft didn't have a dual screen setter at this point. And so I'm like, whatever, I'll just get the fastest Pokemon that's there. And it was Grumpig.
I
But
have
I
no
guess,
idea.
like, Grumpig's also got Thick Fat. And, like, that's
Ice
kind of
resist.
cool. So, yeah, it's a nice resist for my 2 Quad Ice Weak Pokemon.
That's what I'm gonna do. Oh, Beartic
but-
is not gonna go well.
It's also, like, got Helping Hand, which is nice. It does have Trick Room. Like, it's my 3rd Trick Room setter.
I do not have a dual screen setter at this point.
Yeah.
This is my
like,
first
it's got
Trick Room setter, by the way.
It's got Snarl. It's got, like, it's just got a lot. It's got Thunder Wave. It's got a lot of sort of neat bag, like, you know, bag of tricks stuff. It's got Icy Wind as well for some reason. Does it have Knock? I don't know. I don't think it does. But, like, yeah, it just felt like a Pokemon that can maybe come to games, maybe, and it was, like, the best Pokemon for me in 4. I did not want 4. I think I wanted 6.
We did not get 6.
Yeah.
You got your Berserker.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I had to yield at some point. I can't just, you know...
Yeah. Also, like, we were actually catching back up, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we were still, like, at, like, the same round. Because I know the next pick, you were still the first person to pick from in this tier. I'd like to put... Sorry, just to be very clear. The only time that anyone who wasn't Keith picked first were the last 2 rounds, where I picked the second last round first, and LS picked the last round first. So, here we spent the bulk of our remaining 17 points getting a 14-point Pokemon. Yeah. You wanted Tailwind, I think, LS?
Yeah, I
And
think
you got Tailwind.
I didn't desperately need it to be like a 14-pointer, but like I think by the time we figured out the math,
Well, after this we had a 2-pointer and a 1-pointer, so...
I genuinely think we actually figured out our low tiers and we're just like, whatever's left is what we grab.
I really wanted a 2-tier. A 2-point. No, like, we want, like, Houndset, or you have to pick a 1-pointer. We just, I think, didn't like 13, because it didn't have enough Pokemon in the tier list. Like, I think we literally looked at it and we're like, okay.
I
Looking at it,
particularly like
there
14
are
either, to be honest
14
with
Pokemon
you.
total, not counting other people are drafted in 13, versus 18 in 14. And at 15, which, I mean, we would, if we got 2 ones, we would have got 15. There are even less at I think, 11 Pokemon. Now, again, that's not factoring in the fact that a bunch of these Pokemon were already drafted. So that there were, like, I don't know, like 8 guys in one of the tiers, possibly both of them by this point. At this point, there are 8 guys left in one of the tiers and 9 left in the other. So yeah, 14 points, we were like, okay, this is the time. I'm pretty sure one of the Pokemon that you gave this to your wife before you went to bed, and one of the Pokemon that you gave to her got picked by someone else, but not by her. Is that correct?
wait, what? No, yeah. So no. I think I was hyping up Floatzel really like in my head, and I was kind of hyping it to you guys because it was going to click Rain Dance really fast for my Beartic. So I was like, this is going to be so good. She's going to pick Floatzel. It's cute, but then apparently Decidueye H is cute for some reason. I don't know.
Is it not cute? Look at that fella. That's very respectable.
I think Floatzel's cuter.
When's the baby due again?
No, I like Dick. I think Dicky Dewey's slightly cuter.
Like the Decidueye H very much looks like it is a baby in a a Sunday best suit.
But yeah, I gave her 2 Tailwind setters and then Floatzel as just as my quote-unquote fast mode option, which was Floatzel Beartic mode.
Broken.
That as my fast mode.
The Float Bear mode.
And then you
Would've
picked
been
up Venomoth
legendary.
because Rage Patter is good, I assume?
No, I picked so I wanted a water type, and the only water
That's a water
type that was in 14, like I didn't really like anything
Floatzel.
that was in 14 that was left. There was Floatzel in 14, and I wanted that, and then that went, so I'm like, okay, the Pokemon that were available to me were Toxicroak, Sneasel, Slowbro, Galar, Scyther, I think Regice, and also Decidueye Hisui. It was not
Sneasel.
many Pokemon, like, I've already got Slowking, why do I need Slowbro? I've already got Sneasel, like, I've already got Weavile, why do I need Sneasel? It really was just like, okay, it's a Venomoth or it's like Scyther or something. And yeah, Rage Powder just seems good. Not being able to
Currently
be
free in that
flinched
tier,
is
Decidueye Hissway, the biggest hater.
good. Yeah, like I had a grass and a fighting type, so I didn't need Decidueye. So I'm like, you know what? Venomoth's okay. It's a poison type. I got 2 of them. But that's fine. Yeah, it can Quiver Dance, I guess, but it's also got Rage Powder, which is really annoying for people to prep against.
And Titillade's offense is pretty good.
Yeah, oh yeah,
It's reasonably fast. Bug is a pretty good type when you have Titillade.
I just think Venomoth's a cool Pokemon in general. Anyway, I quite like it.
Have you
just design wise?
Did you? Is it in your hate lock yet?
I don't.
Because I know Beedrill is.
I'm gonna look that up.
And then I picked
don't think
Espeon
so, though.
because I looked at the Pokemon in the tier, and I had just taken Clawitzer, so I didn't need Floatzel. Clearly, it's so I can take advantage of my regen core by having Magic Bounce. You don't want hazards impacting your regen core. I don't know. I picked Espeon. I could have picked Slowbro Galar, but I picked up Clotsire earlier. Slowbro Galar probably is a reasonable pick. I think if I trade a pick, this is one of the ones I would strongly consider trading.
Also, we haven't ever discussed how we're doing post drop if you do want to trade.
If we're making we'll
Workshop
discuss this
it in
after
the
the video, but I have an idea
I know.
that I'm sure
I do have Venomoth,
you will
by the
either
way.
agree or disagree with. Yeah, you have used Venomoth.
I
in
have
Halo.
used Venomoth. Yep.
I didn't think so.
Fire Red.
Classic. I forgot you're already up to Fire Red. All right.
I'm playing Diamond.
That's crazy. Okay, so yeah, Espeon was just sort of there because it was a Pokemon that we drafted. And then finally, we get to 2 players, and I get the Pokemon that I already drafted in a different league, but still love. It is almost as strong as Chien-Pao Icicle Crash. You love it, you hate it. It's Thravia. It's stronger than Crunch, and Ice Spinner, but weaker than Icicle Crash from Chien-Pao.
I'm sure there is maths that back up your statement.
I posted them when I drafted the Pokemon.
I don't want to know about it. It's
Fake news.
yeah.
So
This is wrong math.
I really wanted Staravia, and then you wanted a Water type.
Yeah, and I picked the bulkiest one there.
And then I think you
there
gave
was
3
Wish Cache there, maybe, but
Yeah.
I think I liked the water resist.
I like resisting water when I get my water resist.
Yeah, and the ice beam. I like resisting ice beams, and I don't know, Lantern's a cool Pokemon. It also
Do you have a source for that?
yeah, I think it's cool. Me.
Damn, that's pretty rough.
It's immune to electric type attacks as well, which I wasn't incredible
that's right.
into.
Sorry, way back. I got Clodsire because I needed a rock resist.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I knew I wanted
Lantern's
Staravia,
cool.
and I'm like, Currently, my rock resist is Staravia and Skarmory.
Yeah, that's not great.
I got my 1 fairy resist on the team, a growl. Look, there's not a lot of fairies, but on the 1 week that I face one, I may bring it.
A few of the fairies are high tier.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, there's 2.5 fairies. Let's be real here.
Okay, so the 2.5 fairies in question being Ribombi, which I think I said was top 3 Pokemon in the format.
Yeah, Ribombi's really good.
There is
Ribombi, I don't...
some other ones. Pheasantipity, which is pretty good. There's Weezing Galar, which I think was undrafted in both divs.
Yeah.
Pheasantipity and Ribombi both being taken.
There's
both divs. Oh, and Tinkaton as well. Sorry, I forgot Tinkaton mostly because it likes clicking Steel Move, but it is also a fairy type. And a Swords Dance Tinkaton is pretty scary in singles. I don't know if it's good to set up in PGC, but Alcremie, that's a pretty strong mon.
But I mean, hey, look,
and then after that,
Scramble.
like
Nine,
Ramble.
Crystallization is an option. We can always just terror out of our weaknesses.
Yeah, or Terra into weaknesses on other people's
Oh yeah, that's right.
teams.
We forgot to mention this is a Terra format. But yes, I think you gave Growlithe with a bad haircut, and I think another baby
Bloom.
Pokemon that also had Intimidate.
Gloom. No, I wanted Gloom as my fairy
Gloom,
resistance.
that's
I could do
right.
Funny Stench, but then
Oh.
Gloom. I'll be honest with you. This one, when I showed her the picture of Growlithe, I looked sad. I showed her the picture of the other Growlithe, I looked sad, and I showed her Gloom. I grinned, but she said, "I think you want me to pick that one, so I'm not gonna pick it."
I think that she's a very
lovely
supportive
boys.
spouse.
Gloom
She said
honestly
it's
would have been a
point of the
gangster
challenge.
pick.
I was gonna run Stench Bullet Seed, and it was gonna be lit.
It was going to be lit. You just wanted to Eviolite Pokemon that didn't have to run Eviolite. Loaded dice, broken. And then you could set fastest on. Who is your fastest Pokemon, by the way?
We don't talk about that.
Is it Rotom?
It may or may not be Rotom. No, it's Grumpig.
No,
it's Rotom.
It's Grumpig.
What?
It's a Trick Room team, though. It's fine. No one needs fast Pokemon in Trick Room.
No,
Isn't Rotom like 80?
I'm
Isn't
having
like
a stroke.
Rotom 91 speed or
I'm
something?
having
Yes.
a stroke. It's Rotom by far.
Yeah.
It is Rotom. Not by far. It's like Heracross at 85 is next.
And Mabastiff at 85. Come on.
Yeah.
I have two 85s and two 80s.
I thought that Pokemon was 82 speed for some reason. I'm not super
Wait,
familiar
what?
with a lot of Genimons. So yes,
Never
two
mind.
Intimidate Pokemon and a Lantern, which if you think about it, is not an Intimidate Pokemon. On to our final pick, the most important pick, the one-pointers. Keith picked up a Pokemon that I think was rated at 3 in like a non-low tier format in VBL previously.
Yeah, I like Vigoroth, so I picked
Guy's
it up.
kinda strong. And conveniently, you don't have any other big Eviolite Pokemon if we
I've
ignore the
got
other
one.
big Eviolite Pokemon.
I've got Gerda.
Yes. So if we ignore the other big Eviolite Pokemon, I mean, you can just run Flame Orb on Gerda, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The great thing about Vigoroth is it can click Swords Dance a bunch, because it's bulky and has Slack Off.
Yes, it does.
Um,
Or like bulk
the
out
great
like
thing
this as
about
well.
Eevee is it has adaptability, which means you can click Quick Attack.
Yeah, so my wife's favorite Pokemon is Eevee. When we were dating, she even knitted me some Eevee stuff because she thought it was cute.
Who didn't
well,
show me
I-
that when I was there?
I offered her Eevee, and Eevee, and she picked Eevee.
Very powerful. I picked
Presumably
Timber
it was
because it was the
Eevee,
bulkiest
partner
rock resist
Eevee.
in the format, in the tier.
Hmm?
Timber is not a bulky rock resist.
It's, you know.
Do I have another Eviolite Pokemon, or is it just Eevee? I don't even remember. The
Uh,
hell's my team?
yeah, no, you don't have an Eviolite.
Eviolite and Staravia and Timber. I don't know how I did it, but I'm pretty happy with that, you know? Ultimately-
Vigoroth is a ghost immunity for me, which I
Pretty-
needed because
pretty
my
relevant.
ghost resist was
With
Weavile.
Yeah, and I'm sure Vigoroth shares no weaknesses with Weavile.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Terastallization.
We certainly
Weavile,
haven't
Ghost
only
Type,
seen
and-
Poltergeist click Terrablast fighting in, like, several mocks already. I don't think we've seen it click Shadow Ball, but we have seen it click Terrablast fighting in several mocks.
Isn't that? There's like no, but that's the thing. There's no Pokemon that fighting in Ghost is the type combo that can't be resisted very well.
Yes. But that doesn't
There's
mean
a
that you
reason
have
that
to be super
idiot-
effective weak to it, right? Because you could be like a Girafarig.
Unless you're a Zoroark Hisui.
Yes, that's why that Pokemon is cool.
What's that idiot that like kills everything? Oh,
Marshadow.
Yeah, there's a reason Marshadow is so fucking broken.
The 4 Houdun.
The
Yes.
idiot who hits things.
Thank you guys all for watching. Thank you to my incredible co-host and co-coaches. Thank you to Jace for providing graphic design assistance. It's so appreciated. And just remember, guys, if you get the 6 letters that spell out Encore, E-N-C-O-R-E, Encore, you can have more ice cream for 3 extra turns. Goodbye.